Okay. Vamos a ver video de temprano
Let me
porque
see if I
yo.
can show y'all. This is
Oh, lo de
unreal.
P. Diddy.
Sean Diddy Combs is facing new sexual
Oh
assault
my God,
allegations.
this
a lawyer
guy.
representing 120 accusers says the
Wow.
artist committed numerous sexual
This guy's
acts on his
multi-boxing.
clients dating back more than 20 years. ABC's Andrew Dimpert has the details.
This morning, Sean Diddy Combs faces a slew of new allegations. 120 new alleged victims coming.
Again.
Diddy Combs faces a slew of new allegations. 120 new alleged victims.
New.
Uh-huh.
So this means additional. This is not 120 total victims. This is 120 new victims
Nuevas.
on top of the existing victims.
Coming forward with plans to sue, claiming Combs sexually assaulted or abused them.
The biggest secret in the entertainment industry
That it wasn't a secret.
a secret at all has finally been revealed to the world.
Oh.
The alleged assaults spanned 3 decades, with the alleged victims ranging from men and women
ven
who
acá.
claimed they were drugged during Combs'
Expli-
parties to a 9-year-old who claims Combs assaulted him in a music studio.
Baby,
Talk about
get
the
out of
ages
there.
The victims when the conduct occurred. It's
I'm
shocking.
trying to watch a
25
video and you're
of the 120
just being
individuals
silly.
who
Get
were
out of there.
plaintiffs in these cases were minors at the time of the acts.
The new accusation.
For context,
Okay, he's gonna say something. I cannot imagine leaving my child to face his demise like that. And yes, I'm talking about Justin Bieber's mom. What happened, baby? What? Like look at them. They're so small and so little and so fragile. Come here. Pero no, sal de ahí. Get out. Hey, no. Get out. Get out. Get out. No. What are you doing? No, I swear to God, kids are good. They are good when they want to. You did it. Yes, you did it.
Bill Cosby was only like 40 victims, right? It was like 40 something women that came forward about Bill Cosby. Yeah, right? Or something like that. I was like, yeah, it was only 40. So O.J. Simpson was 20. Yes. So you think about with this guy, he is like half nearly the age of Bill Cosby, with at least more than 3 times more victims. Think about that. That's insane. Crazy.
Have not been
It's a
fully vetted,
demon.
and the lawyer
Yes.
expecting to file the lawsuits says victims will remain anonymous whenever legally possible. But
Obviously.
the claims come on the heels of a dozen other civil suits and a federal criminal case against Combs that alleges a decades-long pattern of physical and sexual violence.
Oh
The
my
conduct
God.
at issue spans from the years 1991 all the way till this year, 2024.
No me muteé el micrófono.
Many of these people are coming forward because they see other victims coming
Yeah, sure. That's always what happens.
It gives them some comfort that,
Oh my
hey, I won't
God,
be the only
thank
one.
you.
Yeah.
Combs has pleaded not guilty to racketeering, conspiracy, sex trafficking, and prostitution charges. In the wake of these new allegations, his attorney says Combs emphatically and categorically denies as false and defamatory any claim that
Lo
he
de los
sexually
P. Diddy,
abused anyone,
¿verdad?
including minors.
¿Y tú te acuerdas de un video que hay?
God. This is
¿Tú te acuerdas
insane.
del video de cuando Justin
And the thing
Bieber
is, like
pasó
any
48
reasonable
horas con
person
P. Diddy? Que hay un
would
video de
realize,
48
like,
horas con P.
obviously,
Diddy.
it's not like this is going to be it, right? It's not like, oh, well, now there's not going to be
It
any
hits
more
different,
of these.
right?
Justin Bieber's 48 hours with Diddy. Yeah, this is fucking
Mira,
good. This
mira. Holy.
this is so fucking dark. This is a Justin Bieber video on his main channel from 14 years ago.
Oh my God.
Oh my
My
god.
husband is the
I'll look
best.
at a little bit of this. I don't want to go through everything, obviously. It's a long one. Bro, the top comment, Judgment Day for the entertainment industry.
My name is Tony Busby. I'm a lawyer here in Houston. I'm licensed in Texas and in New York. And I'll introduce other members of our team as they speak. As many of you know, our law firm has been at the forefront of some of the most important litigation in the United States. We like the tough cases. We thrive in the complicated cases. We've handled over the last 25 years some very people and many entities involved.
Wait.
The conduct we will describe today occurred over more than 20 years. There are many people and many entities involved.
Okay.
And we're going to follow this evidence wherever it takes us. We will find the silent accomplices. We will
If he does that, this is going to be like a Hollywood entertainment industry rapture.
Please put it on the public so that everybody can see.
The fucking purge.
And I want to watch
Yeah.
it. Who are the pedos?
It's so crazy. It's like one of those things where it's like the probability
All of
this
them.
like it's there, right? It could happen. But it's so insane to imagine, because think about all the people that have made offhanded comments about this, and now people are retroactively looking back and being like, "Hey, wait, what the fuck?" Right? Like,
Like,
Ain't
hey,
No Party
wait,
Like
I
a
said
Diddy
something
Party,
about this, and I
Leonardo
didn't do
DiCaprio
anything.
Stuff. You know, Jay-Z, yeah, exactly. Like Usher, Pink, right, deleting all their tweets. LeBron James, yep, there you go. The Hollywood Holocaust. I mean, I actually think that this could be.
Actually, I read a comment the other day saying that Pink didn't delete her comments because of these. She deleted it way before this happened. And it was because like something about like she not liking Elon Musk, which I think is stupid. But whatever. If you don't like him, just block him. Simple.
Probably the biggest scandal that could ever happen to Hollywood if these names are released. This could be probably the biggest entertainment industry scandal that
Too much.
probably has ever and maybe even
It's
will
too
ever
much.
happen.
Dáselo a ellos.
Eso, él no se va a comer eso.
Of course he will. Mira.
Ideally, this is what happens. We need this culling. Yeah, bigger than
Look at
Epstein.
me.
Yes.
Mm.
Way bigger than
Ah.
Epstein. Who went down for Epstein? The guy killed himself, right?
Ah.
And then, like, that other woman, Ghislaine Maxwell, went to jail or some shit. Like, who cares? They didn't bring down hardly anybody else besides him. Yeah, like, that's a huge difference.
Ah.
I'm afraid of women committing suicide. That's the thing.
¿No te gustó?
Those, the enablers who enable this conduct behind
Qué
closed
raro.
doors.
Oh, my God.
We will pursue this matter no matter who the evidence implicates.
Oh.
Epstein was for politicians.
That's what I like.
Diddy was for celebrities. Yeah,
But I just
true.
heard I like
Where
that.
It's like celebrities are powerful, but they're not Bill Clinton, right? And so I could see this easily happen to them. Yeah, they could be done.
Get out. Te voy a
Not
cerrar la
lawmakers,
puerta.
yeah.
These
Get
brothers
out.
make the
Me
rules.
calma.
forward deserve nothing. People claiming to have been victimized by Sean Combs. After vetting, we now represent 120 individuals who intend to bring civil claims in civil court against
So if they're representing
There's a
120
lot of
individuals,
people-
Let's read in between.
Let me think it straight. There is a lot of celebrities that knew what his deal was, that went to his parties. And let's think about it. Does Diddy has dirt on all of them that they are not able to speak? Or they just too stupid?
Between the lines here. That means that they have found that 120 of these people have enough information and enough evidence to where they have a viable case. Which I would also probably assume is the minority of people. Like, I would logically assume that most people would not have enough evidence to prosecute for something like this, especially because it spans, you know, like 30 years.
Sean Diddy Combs, as well as claims against many other individuals and entities that we will name as defendants as we file these individual cases.
I hate to say it, but I'll believe it when I see it. After Epstein, after Harvey Weinstein, I'll believe it when I see it.
And you should know, to the extent the clients feel comfortable, we also intend to make these individuals available to the authorities, specifically to the FBI. And you should also know a few of them have already been spoken to by the FBI. Now, before we discuss the nature of the claims,
But the thing is, like, it's so hard to believe the FBI.
Large volume of calls we have received
because it feels like they are sold out.
Announcement.
Yeah, this is 3,000.
Even before the indictment of Sean Combs, we had received a small volume of calls and had screened a handful of cases. After the indictment of Sean Combs and the announcement that we were pursuing these claims, the floodgates opened.
This is something that's extremely common for a lot of people that are sexual abusers and bad actors inside of different spaces, is that when a person gets prosecuted or they get criminally tried for any sort of sexual bad behavior, the odds are, the average is that a person who actually gets held accountable for bad sexual behavior has already had 5 prior victims that they were not held accountable for.
Yep.
So that's why, that's the reason, and this is a studied phenomenon. And I think this is true, like, obviously with, like, celebrities because they're very powerful. But what I'm saying is that it's true even at, like, an individual private citizen level. It's extremely common.
People who wouldn't otherwise, for a variety of reasons.
And that's why, by the way, you see when one person speaks out, a bunch of other people speak out too. And, like, to me, that's one of the big indicators whether I believe the, like, veracity of, like, an accusation. Is, like, I generally, like, you know, one person accuses somebody of something, it's like, okay, right, I'm not sure what happened. But, like, 3 or 4 or 10 people, or let's say, I don't know, 3,285 people come out and they say the same thing. Or, like, they all say the same thing about this one person. It's like, come on. Come on, at what point, right?
Are now stepping forward to make their voices heard and to pursue justice. But no, most of these people are scared.
Yeah, of course.
They fear backlash in their communities.
Oh.
They fear backlash in their own families. They are afraid of retaliation from the perpetrators and their associates.
Yep.
They are rightly afraid for their own personal safety.
True.
I expect that through this process, many powerful people will be exposed.
We got to protect this man. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just, like, Diddy's gonna die.
Yeah, he will. Probably.
So, I don't think that's going to happen because it won't change the outcome. The difference between Diddy and Epstein is that a bunch of other people have these videos. With Epstein, nobody else had this information because it was so locked down. Like, Epstein, you've got to keep in mind, was flying out, like, former presidents, like, you know, CEOs of multi-billion-dollar companies. Like, the level of control that they had was, like, way higher than Diddy. Like, you've got to keep in mind, like, Epstein was, like several measures of power more powerful than Diddy. Like, way, like, I mean, this guy was friends with Bill Clinton. It's not even close.
Many dirty secrets will be revealed. We know what we are potentially up against. And as is always the case in situations like this when a celebrity is involved, people can be downright mean and nasty.
I bet they can.
You'd be shocked at the length fans will go, no matter the evidence, to the contrary, to defend celebrities they love.
I wouldn't be surprised by that.
This word fans, they're fanatics.
That's clever.
I've personally already been threatened multiple times on social media.
I bet.
And when I agreed to pursue this, I expected as much.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't my first rodeo. But victims who step forward to have their voices heard should not be subjected to that kind of conduct. They should not be targeted. I want to say this, and I want to be clear about it. Although we are vetting each call as stringently as we can, I always start with a mindset that I believe victims. I believe victims. Because I understand the tremendous courage it takes to step forward. So if you're watching this, please hear me. If you're out there and you have been victimized, you are not alone. There is a great strength in numbers.
That's what happens.
When I hear a person like that talking and taking down someone as big as DIDDY or Epstein or anybody else, I wish that there was someone like that in my country or in any other country, that these things go unchecked. Because there's these things not just happen in America. It happens everywhere. And on other countries, there's nobody brave enough to do what he's doing, which is held them accountable and put him in jail. In other countries, they are free. They roam around. They kill your children. Just look at the local news from any other country. So many minors have been killed lately. In my country, I'm Dominican. Look for it. Minors raped and killed. Mothers that are looking for help out there, going to the right places to get help, and one day the man is threatening them. They go to their house, they rape their children, and they burn the house down. What happened? Nothing. Nothing happened. The maximum sentence in my country is 30 years. I wish there was justice for people in my country. I wish.
With a lot of people.
That being said, as stated, we are vetting every call.
It's crazy. There's DIDDY defenders. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah.
I haven't seen any DIDDY defenders.
Not that I know. But
And,
he
like,
has
if there
received
were any DIDDY defenders, like 100 new sexual assault allegations. One person's apparently 9 that's named. Like, I feel like people are like, oh, yeah, I mean, damn. Wow.
It's not
okay.
that there are people defending him, but they're not going to do it in public. Asmon, what a take, dude.
Ain't that something? Wow.
I love you, but
Yeah, I feel like that's... yeah, where are they?
All that we receive, we have had to turn away some. For each, we ask for corroboration. For each,
that was a little
we ask
nail.
for the identity of witnesses. We also have collected pictures, videos, texts. We check venues. We check dates. We want to corroborate that the claims being made have legitimacy and merit. We have on staff now a former detective from the Major Offenders Unit of Houston Police Department who is helping us vet each claim. We're using our common sense. We're being stringent because, as I said, these are not easy cases. They're very tough. The process is hard, and in some cases, the process is very lengthy. These cases are hard to prove. Many times it's the victim's word against the alleged perpetrator.
Maybe they'll only prove half of them.
Each of these victims will no doubt be publicly attacked by the alleged perpetrators, and in some cases, the general public. The feckless and cowardly keyboard.
About the 50 Cent stuff. So I heard and read comments about 50 Cent being one of the persons that had an investigator following Diddy. So I wonder how much this allegedly super alleged investigator, how much does he have? Like, how much how do you say this? Maybe archives or everything that Diddy had done.
Keyboard warriors love to attack. We know what we're up against. We did not enter this fray blindly.
Damn.
I wish it was my last such fray. I wish this type of hate behavior wasn't so pervasive. But it is what it is, so we will press on. As
this guy's good, man.
Arms have been retained by 120 individuals at this point to pursue cases.
It is what it is, yep.
Against Sean Diddy Combs. You should know, in this group, it is evenly divided between males and females. There are 60 males and 60 females who have joined us to pursue these claims as plaintiffs.
So if it's even and it's like that, the odds are they probably took the 120 best ones because they didn't have the bandwidth for any more than that. Like, that's logically what would happen, right? They took the top 60 for each one, the strongest cases.
Mm-hmm.
Because you've got to keep in mind, like, you can't just, like, you know, do an infinite amount of cases.
Yeah, that's true.
Plaintiffs. In this group, 62% identify as African American, 30% are white, and the remainder are Hispanic or Asian. Victims are from more than 25 states.
Mm-hmm.
Majority are from California, New York,
I don't know why it's doing
Georgia, and Florida.
California and Georgia.
Is this? Can y'all check real quick and see if this is me, or if this is the video? Can y'all do that just real quick? It's not just you? Okay.
When we talk about the ages of the victims when the conduct occurred, it's shocking.
Mm-hmm.
Our youngest victim at the time of the occurrence was 9 years old. We have an individual who was 14 years old. We have one who was 15. 25 of the 120 individuals who are plaintiffs in these cases were minors at the time of the acts complained of. The time frame of the acts complained of is...
Somebody said Justin Bieber was 14 then? That's crazy. Man. What a coincidence. That's crazy. Wow.
Very wild.
And the crazy thing is that Justin Bieber was 14. And recently, remember that there's a video where Diddy went and saw Justin and he was like patting him for mics. And then he hugged him. Like, it looks like such a victim behavior to go back to the person that abused you. Oh my God. It just makes you want to cry. Wow. How can someone be so heartless?
The conduct at issue spans from the years 1991 all the way till this year, 2024. If you wonder why there are so many alleged victims, that's your answer. We're talking about more than 25 years of this type of conduct.
Oh my God.
Now, although most of the victims who have stepped forward were victimized after 2015, this has been going on for a very long time.
Because you got to keep in mind that, like, the people that probably got fucked around with, like, in, like, the early 2000s and, like, maybe even the 90s or, like, even the early 2010s, you know, you didn't have as many smartphones back then. Like, the world wasn't as connected. You didn't have as much evidence as you do now.
Yeah.
Like, now you've
What
got
kind
all
of
this
pictures do you have? The
evidence.
blurry
And
pictures that a
also, like,
Nokia
of
could
course,
take?
you know, as time goes on, it becomes harder to prove things because it's like, well, this happened such a long time ago, and, like, you know, there's less people that remember it well. And there's also, of course, statute of limitations. And so, yeah.
Now, when you think about the fact that some of this conduct occurred 25 years ago,
You don't have strong evidence, just hearsay?
you wonder why would it take somebody so
Yeah.
long to step forward. I want to remind you that many states in the United States have recognized that it's very difficult for a victim to step forward and to make these types of allegations.
Of
when
course it
something
is difficult.
Very terrible has happened.
Who
to them.
would?
I'll use New York, the state of New York, as an example. The state of New York has
It's a
specific...
big problem that, like, people have is that, like,
They are embarrassed.
there's like there's
and they don't
always,
want
like,
to
this
talk about
internet
it.
discourse
And
that
talking
is
about it makes them
whether
cry.
You should believe victims or not. And I think the reality is that you can't prosecute and you can't go after a case for something like this
If you don't have
unless
proof.
you have some degree of trust that the person is telling the truth. I think that from my perspective, it's trust but verify. You know, you're coming up to this. It doesn't mean, like, you know, shoot first and ask questions later, but it means, okay, you're coming up with this accusation. We're going to take this seriously and we're going to act on it. Now, I wish more people thought like that.
Nobody does.
statutes in place that revive claims that are even claims that would typically be not
There's too
able
many
to
victims,
be brought,
yeah.
that
Too many people.
revive such claims and they can be brought even 25 to 30 years later.
Yeah.
Because there's a recognition there in New York and California and other states that it's very difficult for a victim to come forward. And I would respectfully suggest the only reason many of these people are coming forward because they see other victims coming forward.
Yep.
And it gives them some comfort that, hey, I won't be the only one.
I won't be the only
And
one
I expect
saying
more
this.
victims will come forward.
Yeah.
You know, there's an old saying that says, a lie has great speed, but truth has endurance.
Yep.
The acts complained of in these cases that we're going to file occurred primarily
I never
in New
heard
York,
that. That's true.
I
Either
am sorry.
Manhattan or
I'm
the
very
Hamptons.
emotional.
or occurred in California,
When
primarily
it comes
in Los
to this.
Angeles, or in Florida, primarily in Miami.
It
Most
pisses
of
me
these
off.
events and incidents occurred at parties, typically after parties,
And I am
album
nervous
release parties, New Year's Eve
playing
parties,
video games
4th
while
of
I
July
listen to this.
parties,
'Cause it's
something they
so-
called a puppy party.
No matter how you interpret what puppy could mean, it's bad. Doesn't matter how you want to interpret it, it's bad either way.
Parties,
Uh,
4th of July parties.
Again,
Something they called a puppy party,
Jesus.
all-white party,
All white party?
although several of these
Poppy party. All white. It means like the white party is like all of the victims that were gonna be white. That's what it means. You don't even need to explain it to me. I don't even need proof for it.
events occurred at auditions. Many times, especially young people, people wanting to break into the industry, were coerced into this type of conduct in the promise of being made a star or in the promise of having Sean Combs listen to their tape or even let them read for Sean
Well,
Combs.
that's never happened before.
You should know that some of this behavior occurred at well-known venues in New York City. Some of this behavior occurred at private residences of people that we all know.
And in front of people that would just look away.
Some of this behavior occurred at hotels that we're all familiar with. You should know that more than 55% of the victims filed reports, reported this conduct to either the authorities, that is the police, or to hospitals. We're in the process of collecting with our...
This goes into what I was thinking earlier because statistically, as far as I know, there is a low probability that people filed reports. So this proves, and doesn't really prove, but it goes to show kind of what I was saying is that they clearly took the 120 most credible, because for actual reports, there is a very low probability that somebody files a report. So if you're at 55% for something like this, that means that you've curated the most plausible and the most verifiable instances.
Our team assistants.
The ugliest thing is that they probably have some of these allegations like from a very long time ago. And oh my god. They couldn't do anything about it because they didn't have enough evidence. Wow.
Medical
Oh my
records.
god, I'm sorry.
Reports that were made.
I am
to
a
the
very
authorities.
emotional person, guys.
And I've already said that some of the
If anybody's over
in this
there
group did in
and
fact
you're
talk to
watching,
the FBI. You should know that several of the
this
individuals,
is something that hits
and when I say
close.
several, I mean many, who did in fact seek medical treatment were drug tested, and drugs were found in their system, weird drugs.
It's crazy how it just gets worse.
Whenever he speaks, it just gets worse. That's true.
So it just gets worse and worse.
Yeah.
Drugs that you probably never heard of. One in particular that continues to pop up is a drug called xylazine, or trank, which, based on our research, is known as a horse tranquilizer.
What the fuck?
Now, there's been a lot of reports that we're filing a class action. This is not a class action. Class action is when one or two people file a case on behalf of a group of people. That's not this.
Mm-hmm.
These cases will be individual cases. Each case will live and die on its own merit. These cases will be filed individually, one plaintiff against whoever the defendants were involved in the case.
Oh my god.
Each case.
So this is going to take years. In years.
One venue like California, another case may be filed in New York.
Multiple charges,
One case may sue just Sean Combs, but multiple other people. One case may sue a range of people. I would expect most, though, to be filed, as I said, in New York and Los Angeles. Now, I know this. Many of you came here thinking or hoping, or perhaps believing, that I may start naming names. Well, that day will come, but it won't be.
He's not going to do it until it goes to court. Because if he goes and he names names right now, those people
are going to
will
run away.
And they can act accordingly.
And run away.
So obviously he's not going to name names. That would be stupid. Never tell somebody what you're going to do until you do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't show your hand. Yeah, of course.
There's a lot of people that are running away.
There's a lot of names. It's a long list already.
They just left the country.
This is already a
That's
lot
it.
different than the whole than the Epstein situation, because
it's just like
all of the information is way more.
You know that what needed to happen was that even before they caught Diddy, have the list of people that were potentially part of this in a list before they even know it, so that they couldn't escape the country. Because there's a few of them that have already left. And yes, I'm talking about how was his name? Steve Harvey? Something like that? The black dude with the mustache. I don't know his name.
More decentralized. Like the Epstein situation was extremely
Steve,
centralized.
something like that, I think.
And the control around it was incredibly tight. But with this, there's already so many other people that know about the information. I feel like you basically can't stop this at this point, because too many people know about it. And so, like, even if you kill one or two of these people, the tipping point has already happened, especially considering these are people in entertainment. So the odds are that there's like media of these things happening.
I already know who some of these individuals are, but because of the nature of this case, we're going to make damn sure that we're right before we do that. But the names that we're going to name, assuming that our investigators confirm and corroborate what we've been told, are names that will shock you. These are individual cases. There are indeed other perpetrators involved. They will be revealed when that particular individual case is ready to be filed. They already know who they are. And I'm talking here about not just the cowardly but complicit bystanders. That is, those people that we know watched this behavior occur and did nothing.
Yeah,
Did nothing.
This is what we saw earlier.
About the people that participated.
Yeah, because this is the thing. People that knew that it was happening and didn't do anything about it. It's going to get real? Yeah. Bro, like, this is insane.
Encouraged it, egged it on. They know who they are.
Oh, my God.
I call them the facilitators of foul play.
True.
Willing participants in vile conduct.
Yeah?
As we identify them, each will be part of this case as defendants. These defendants will not only include individuals, but would also include corporate entities who ultimately profited off of this culture and behavior. I'm looking at banks, pharmaceutical companies, hotels. We know that many of these individuals were paid cash. We know that many of these individuals involved, whether they were the ones being assaulted and abused or they're witnessing other people being assaulted and abused and then paid and threatened and told to leave. Typically paid 10 grand in cash and told to leave. And then threatened as they were leaving.
Only 10 grand? Jesus.
In addition to Sean Combs.
That's it?
You should know the defendants in these cases we're going to file will include anyone, of course, who engaged in the assault or exploitation.
Yeah.
Anyone who participated in such in any way. Anyone who encouraged or facilitated this conduct. Anyone who was in the room and watched it happen but made no effort to stop it. Any venue or venue owner.
Bro, they're going scorched earth. Oh my God.
Everybody that knew.
This is insane.
I'm happy. That makes me happy.
And the thing is also, like, the fact that this guy went out and made, like, a massive, like, did a whole press conference for this. It's
He has
pretty
enough
hard
difference.
to kill this guy now. And, you know, like, and also, by the way, he's at a law office, and there's a bunch of other people that work at the same law office. And they all know the same thing.
You're going to have to kill a whole bunch of people if you want them to shut up.
Who was aware of what was going on, but failed to stop it. Any individual or entity who knew about the conduct and benefited from it, but did nothing to report it or stop it. And any individual or entity who covered it up.
Oh my God, Oprah!
These people who know who they are should just come forward now. I would imagine, as we speak here, there are myriad people who are very nervous.
Oh, man.
You can't hide skeletons in the closet forever. I would expect there are many people out there right now who are desperately searching their memories as they delete their texts and data.
Oh, and you cannot delete anything from the internet.
Yeah.
It's very hard.
In fact, individual cases.
You cannot get rid of it, even if you try.
An MO, if you will.
What's the thing?
Typically, the victim is lured into a situation where he or she is given a drink. Typically, that drink, reported by these victims, is apparently laced with something. Once that drink takes effect, the perpetrators perform all kinds of sexual acts on the victims, many times passing him or her around as other people watch and enjoy the show, and then leave the victim ashamed, confused, injured, and wondering what happened.
Yep.
When the victim reaches out, he or she is told not to say anything. Sometimes there are threats of physical violence or financial repercussions.
Yeah, of course.
Or bodily harm.
Yeah, that's exactly how it's done.
The claims we intend to bring will include the following: violent sexual assault or rape, sexual abuse, facilitated sex with a controlled substance, false imprisonment, compelling prostitution, sexual misconduct, dissemination of video recordings, false imprisonment.
But false imprisonment, what does that mean? Like they put you in a prison telling you that you're actually in jail What does that mean? What does false imprisonment mean? Wait, we're gonna Google that. Sunment. That's how you type it? Press it. Wait. False imprisonment. What is that? Not now. When they engage in the act of restraining on another person, which confines that person in a restricted area. False imprisonment is an act punishable under criminal law as well as under tort law. Oh my God. And he has several counts of that, I bet.
Sexual abuse of minors. Given a large volume of cases.
Those are all really bad. Oh my God. Wow.
And given our other docket obligations, and given the fact that we want to be sure when we file these cases that they are fully vetted, I expect we'll start filing these cases against Sean Combs and other perpetrators within the next 30 days. Now, it's rare, sexual abuse, sexual exploitation, this type of activity is pervasive in our society, and it's rare we get a chance where we can really focus on this as a country and really focus on this about how pervasive this is and what we as collectively can do about it. So I thought
it's disappointing that you have a lot of people that co-opt issues like this and they turn them into being like kind of a women are lying or men are bad type situation, because I think it muddies the waters a lot. And what he's saying is really true. And the problem is, like, you have so many people with, like, past unresolved trauma in one way or another, or like their, vendetta against the other gender. And these people, I think what they do is that they try to, like,
oh my God, I'm gonna
they
need
want
another
the
coffee
world to look like
this
the way
video.
they see it.
Jesus.
And I do really, really hope people take this shit seriously. I do. I really hope people do, especially like a lot of the like kind of like red pill, like, people that are like constantly worried about like, false accusations and shit like that. This stuff happens a lot. And it's real a lot.
Yo te tengo
Like,
botada, estoy reaccionando video.
It's not like every accusation's fake.
Estoy haciendo video.
Take this opportunity before I go into some of the individual cases.
It's on video? Some of them are.
Individual claims being made and some of the, so you'll get a sense of.
Esto es acerca de lo de DIDDY, loca, y las cosas que ha dicho el abogado que está llevando el caso me tienen mal. Yo estoy hasta llorando casi de todas las asquerosidades que ese hombre hizo. Ay, chica. It's horrible. Oh, I know that they could kill him, but I don't want him dead. Yo quiero que él pague por todo en vida, por todo lo que él hizo. En vida y después en la muerte, cuando se muera. Que viva. Ahí en la cárcel, trancado, como él le hizo a la gente. Que pague, coño, vivo y después muerto cuando se muera de viejo. Pues yo sé que lo van a matar. Pero a mí me gustaría que viva, pero que lo traten mal. Que lo traten mal, coño, como la mierda que él es. Le van a hacer lo mismo que a Epstein. Lo mismo. Porque es que ellos no quieren caer. Los famosos no quieren caer. Y déjame decirte que la gente que está envuelta en lo de DIDDY es casi la misma gente que estaban envuelta con Epstein. Son toditos igualitos. Son la misma gente. La misma gente que se mencionaron en Diddy, que se han mencionado en Diddy, muchos de ellos se mencionaron en el caso de Epstein. Por lo menos de parte de los famosos. Have you seen all the memes on the media about Diddy? Es que para mí, it's not funny. It's not funny. Para mí es bien doloroso. And the stupid shit is that the things, I'm telling you, yo he visto par que han mandado, pero es para que le hagan a él. Oh shit. The thing is que he's just gonna die and he's not gonna pay for it. They're gonna kill him in jail. And let me tell you something. He has the audacity to deny all of this. Because he's saying that he didn't do anything.
What this 120 people group looks like individually.
It's
I
disgusting.
want to bring forward Carrie Paul. She's a national
He
victim
thinks he's
advocate,
untouchable.
who helps victims. Who
The
have been
system has made him untouchable for so long.
by this type of conduct.
I feel like this pretty much what's going on, right? I mean, I think that, like, you know, him explaining it, I'll go ahead and I'll go to the end because, like, they're just gonna be talking about, like, kind of like different things. So yeah, I mean, she just gonna be talking about. I'll wrap it up.
Of the victim. You can file these cases, these individual cases, under Jane Doe or John Doe. Each state is different in that respect.
Skips the woman.
Typically, there is a
No, it's just that, like, I mean, obviously they're going to talk about, like, how prevalent, like, this kind of stuff is and, like, why people don't come out for it and everything. And, like,
Speaks
feel like
women.
also,
He didn't skip
like,
the
I don't wanna
women.
patronize you guys. I feel like most normal people know that, right?
Jane
knows this,
Doe.
like, most, like, adults, right, that aren't, like,
El comentario, porque he said, él dijo de que tú puedes file a case under Jane Doe. Y el tigre aquí en el comentario, Taddy.
you can
Skip
file
the women.
these individual cases,
The
under
Diddy.
Jane Doe or John Doe.
Jane Doe,
Each
John
state
Doe.
is different in that respect.
skips the woman.
Typically, there is a
No, it's just that, like, I mean, obviously they're going to talk
Wait,
about,
I
like,
saw
how
a
prevalent,
comment.
like, this kind of stuff is and, like, why people don't come out for
Where
it
is
and everything.
it?
And, like, I feel like also, like, I don't want to.
Jane Doe. He's mentioning Jane Doe. Jane Doe, la del otro juego, la de. La de sí, Jane Doe. Oh my God, how are we able to laugh about this? How? Sí, yep. Sí.
Patronize you guys. I feel like most normal people know that, right? Everybody knows this, like most, like, adults, right? That aren't,
You
like,
cannot see it because my cara está en el medio. Tú no los ves porque los comentarios están en mi cara. Míralo aquí. Ok. Espérate. Skip woman, who cares?
skips the
No.
woman.
typically there is a
No, it's just that, like, I mean, obviously they're going to talk about, like, how prevalent, like, this kind of stuff is and, like, why people don't come out
Skips
for it and
women.
everything.
Skips black woman. Typical.
And, like, I feel
Speed
like
run.
also,
Day.
like, I don't want to patronize you guys.
Jane Doe. Mírala ahí.
I feel like most normal people know that, right? Everybody knows this, like most, like,
Reporter, is Johnson and Johnson's baby oil held liable? Porque tenía más de 1000 Johnson and Johnson en su casa, qué sé yo.
Adults, right, that aren't like
Asmond Reddit moment. Yes, 100% common sense. Did he gonna get diddled? Chat.
like part of some sort of like brainwashing. Like we all know this, and so that's why I'm like, yeah,
Skips day. He's cooked.
we know.
Woman yapping. Most of chat is pretty optimistic. This guy has read some bad cases. You can see it in his eyes. Oh, él está diciendo que este hombre ha leído cosas horribles y que se le ven los ojos. Que está como muerto el tigre, como que diablo, coño, qué mierda yo he leído.
Like the public's right to know the name of the victim and plaintiff versus the confidentiality and the safety of the plaintiff. So we'll have to struggle with that.
Lo chulo está de que Jane Doe es policía. Es una policía encubierta.
Each one of these cases, our intention, of course, is to, like we always do, file these cases under a pseudonym until the court tells us otherwise. But let me share with you a few, just kind of give you a sense of the kind of cases and the kind of instances that people are calling and reporting that we are trying to corroborate, vet.
Okay, he's gonna read something.
Espérate. Corroborated, vetted, and collected evidence on. One individual who was 22 years at the time she was assaulted said that the typical MO at one of these parties that have been widely discussed in the press was that when you were handed a drink, and now we know that the drink is laced with something, if you refused to drink it, you were kicked out of the party.
Yeah, of course.
Now, let that sink in for a minute. I mean, the admission to this party was
to have to drink it.
Chosen drink that was handed to you. And now we know that in most cases, I would say 90% of the cases, these individuals were drugged with some sort of drug. That was kind of the MO. Another instance, this individual who was 9 years old at the time was...
Daddy, if you don't drink this, you can't go into the party. 9 years old. Nine years old. Wait, mi mami me está llamando. Yeah, era mi mami. That was my mommy.
Taken to a audition in New York City with Bad Boy Records. Other boys were there to audition as well. All of them were trying to land a record deal. All of them were minors. This individual was sexually abused, allegedly by Sean Combs and several other people at the studio.
And other people too.
In the promise to both his parents and to him himself of getting a record deal.
What the fuck?
And his parents allowed it.
Another minor told, allegedly by Sean Combs, that he would make him a star, but he needed to visit with him in private about it, away from his parents. Once they were in a private area, allegedly Mr. Combs made the victim perform oral sex upon him. Another incident,
and he's just like, okay, next, like, oh my God.
Are you kidding?
Individual 15 years old at the time, flown to New York City to attend.
I want to know, because Justin Bieber's mom has been someone that everybody has considered her like a really nice woman. What is she thinking right now?
A party was drugged.
It's like any
and
of
taken
like
into a
just
private room.
because Justin Bieber is the most famous one, and he hasn't come forward against him, and he hasn't said anything against him. Oy, that's it. That's infuriating because we all know that Justin Bieber was like the platter. Everybody wanted to touch him. Everybody wanted to kiss him. Everybody wanted to put their hands on him. Like I remember someone saying something about along those lines. Oh my god, that's so disgusting and infuriating and sad and everything at the same time.
Room, allegedly.
And then we feel worried about Justin, but I feel worried about all of the other kids that were promised things that they were gonna be big, that they were gonna be huge, that they were gonna be this and that and it and that, and just raped and raped and raped over and over.
In the presence of Mr. Combs, where this female individual minor was raped, and then other individuals took turns raping her. Another individual, 26 at the time.
How do you just like, you just, this is crazy.
It's like all the things that this lawyer has read.
Oh my God.
And he's still, like, I envy him because I wouldn't have the strength to be on top of like a podium over there and talking about all of these things. I would cry.
He just keeps going.
Of the occurrence was picked up by, allegedly, by Mr. Combs and several other people in a
Guys,
black
don't
SUV
think
from
like
the
over
airport.
here people are saying, oh, only in America. These things don't only happen in America. It happens everywhere. Everywhere.
Was given one drink in the SUV and then literally woke up the next day not knowing what had happened, but with pain and damage to both her vagina
This is where that
and
ends.
her anus.
He's
Where she was.
Whoa. Oh, that's so graphic for my mind.
She then went to the hospital. She was missing her underwear and her shoes. Another instance, an individual,
Another
this time
instance.
not a minor, was attended a group dinner, allegedly with Sean Combs in Miami. She wasn't drinking because she was pregnant, but whatever she drank at the table, apparently, at least according to her, was laced with something. She blacked out, and she woke up in the same bed, again, allegedly, with Mr. Combs in his mansion in Miami.
And she was pregnant?
Her vagina and her anus were torn and sore.
Look at his face.
I mean, literally, you're sensing a theme here. It's the same theme, and it all involves some sort of drug. One instance, an individual who was 20 years old at the time was asked to attend. Just
I have to say
saw her on the
something.
street.
Tell me. Oh my God. The lawyers see things really bad every single day. Every single day. Yeah. I know. Even worse than this. Yes. But that was a pregnant girl. They raped a woman. They drugged and raped a woman that was pregnant. They're disgusting. Simply disgusting. I'm not talking about the cases he's reading. Yeah, I know. I know that you're talking about something else. Just in general. Have like Daddy, like the ones that I was talking about. Because earlier you weren't here, but I was saying like advocacy is not meant for everyone. I know. I was talking about like the cases in our country, Daddy, that go unchecked. You know how many kids have been killed in our country? Well, you live there. You know. How many kids have kidnapped, raped, and killed in our country and nobody goes to jail? Nobody goes to jail. Nobody get held accountable. Nobody comes forward because nobody does anything in our country. Because over here, at the very least, soon, even if it's late, because this is late already, that all of these things happen. It's not being stopped right from the get go. It's being stopped after so many things have happened. But at least in this country, in America, something is done. If the ones that commit the crime are the ones with the power, yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I mean. That over there in our country is worst. It's way worst.
Asked to attend a party in a hotel. She was flattered, went to the party, was given one drink, and doesn't remember anything else. Ultimately,
Yeah, that's the
was
MMO.
so messed
The
up.
M. How
Went
do
to
you
the
call it?
hospital where they found
The modus operandi. The MO.
cocaine and this horse tranquilizer
They give them
in
a
her
drink with
bloodstream.
something in it, drug
I'll give you
them,
a quote
they passed out,
from
they wake up and they're raped.
a very young man who told us over the phone about his experience and all the things that happened to him. He says allegedly at the hands of
Asmongold is
Sean
like,
Diddy Combs
I am
and
angry.
his friends in the effort to try to sign.
So there's another one, right? Because like he's saying here that it wasn't, 'cause,
And
like,
he's only
lot
reading a
of this
few.
is just like literally just Diddy doing it himself. But if you listen to what's being said here, is that other people are also doing it. They were watching it happen, right? This is fucking insane. Like, this is like allegedly. It is. It's allegedly. Yep.
Everything is
We don't know.
alleged. Daddy, the names of the party. They will say, oh, this is the puppy party. This is the white party. Daddy, what do you think those things mean? Puppy, but for me, it means maybe it's little kids, and white, maybe just white kids. The name says it all. He can take it anymore. No, me neither. He wanted to.
A record deal. This was kind of what he was told he would have to do. His quote is,
I'm
"Had he not
pissed.
been in power, I feel like I could have been something great. I quit the industry because of what Sean Combs did to me." And that's really what it comes down to. We are pursuing this,
I can easily see that.
asking you to support this effort, to encourage witnesses and victims to come forward and bring your evidence so we can continue to break down this wall of silence and we can continue to have these stories heard. This is the beginning of what I hope to be a national dialogue. This type of sexual assault, sexual abuse, and sexual exploitation should never happen in the United States or anywhere else. This should have never been allowed to go on for so long. This conduct has created a mass of individuals who are injured, scared, and scarred.
Yeah, literally.
If you are one of those individuals, we ask you to reach out. If not to us, to someone you trust. If you are someone who witnessed any of these events, we ask you to reach out. Your name can remain confidential. With that, I'll take a few questions, not many, maybe two, but if you have a question, I'll be pleased to try to answer it. Perfect.
How many minors are making accusations in total, and are the feds aware of the allegations of minors in the case?
I don't know what the feds are aware of, okay, but I do know it's 25 out of this 120. But I will say this to that point: we welcome the FBI or any.
You see what he said, right? It's 25 out of the 120. So very clearly they received more. And again, they probably just picked the 120 most credible.
Yeah.
It's more than 25. 25 is the minimum. And everybody knows it's more than that.
Oh my God.
Authority who wants to come to us, and we're going to make that available to these victims because I think that's important. My suspicion is, based on talking with these folks, is that the FBI is just not aware of these people. The FBI has talked to some of these folks, and I'm going to try to encourage the victims to, in fact, talk to the FBI because I think they have some very important things to say. Yes.
Were all of the children auditioning because they were musicians, or were any of them kids of employees or anything like that?
That's a good question.
Seeking either TV or some sort of music.
It was harder to hear.
Yeah.
I think some people might not be able to hear.
It's a lot of dreamers, a lot of people that were dreaming
Were they just
of being
kids
musicians.
that were just like there, or kids that were looking for prospective careers?
Yeah.
With promise.
It's all of the children and young people that were trying to make it in the industry and that probably told like, hey, we know Diddy and Diddy can help you and this and that, you know? Because he probably had people recruiting. He's not gonna do all this job by himself. Just like Epstein. Epstein used the same women that he would rape, he would use them to go get more women. So I guess Diddy would be like, oh, if you get me more kids, if you get me more people, I'll probably make you famous. I did this for this one. Why aren't, maybe if you bring me this amount of kids, I'll give you that. I'll help you with this. You know, it's favors. It's favors. And they would agree and bring more people, more children, more victims. I bet you. Allegedly. I bet that's because he cannot do it by himself. Come on, it's too many people. He's not going to be the recruiter and at the same time the perpetrator and at the same time the one that put the drugs in his drinks. He had people to do that for him. It's impossible to believe that he did this by himself. Allegedly. Because I don't want to be sued. He's so messed up, yeah.
Promises of,
Yeah.
We're going to make you a star.
Yeah. See,
Instead, basically did things to them such that they don't want to have anything to do with the entertainment industry ever again. All right, guys. Thank you very much for your attention. We're going to go now. Thank you.
Well, that's it. And I don't even let me just hear what Asmon has to say about it.
holy shit.
I'm
There's
gonna
a
leave the
video
bot
right
off.
there. Y'all want to watch the
So-
rest of it? Some parts that I didn't watch. Did he get in the electric chair? I
What
mean,
happened with the baby?
I want to, like, honestly, I want to see him
What happened
testify
with the baby?
and say who else was involved.
What
Because, like, that's really what needs to happen, is because, like, something like this, like, he didn't do this, he didn't solo this, right? Like, he did this with a bunch of other people. So, like,
Where's the
I mean,
baby?
him going to jail and, like, he's
got
done,
away?
right? Like, I mean, he's obviously done. So, like, that's a foregone
baby?
conclusion. We know that's going to happen. What about everybody else? Yeah, like, what about the people that were involved? Like-minded individuals. Yeah, exactly, right? They better have them on watch for suicide. I'm going to be honest. I don't even think it matters. I think if Diddy kills himself or somebody kills Diddy at this point, it won't make a difference.
No, it won't.
Because there's so much corroborating evidence. There's so many people that have talked about it. and there's so many things that have happened, and there's probably data, phone calls. Like, again, like Epstein and Clinton, these guys are fucking professionals. Diddy, Usher,
Lee mi mensaje.
these are singers. Like, let's be honest, right? Like, they're not on that level. They're not anywhere remotely as powerful as somebody like Bill fucking Clinton. Like, let's be honest, right, guys? Like, yeah, these are the guys that pretend to be gangsters. People like Bill Clinton are the ones that say they're not gangsters, but they actually fucking are. Very big difference there. Diddy's a rookie? Yeah, bro, like these, yeah, they're... I don't think they have even remotely close to the power or influence to stop this from happening. Especially with so much information and so many people knowing the information. Hollywood's involved too? Yeah, I know. But Hollywood doesn't write laws.
What happened to baby?
That's the difference.
What
Singers
happened with the
who under influence
baby?
powerful people who invested in them? Yeah, I guess so, right?
It got away?
Man, Clinton made $250 million in office and his
Hello,
wife.
Daddy.
Hey, you know, and that's just what we know about, right? You heard about 50 Cent selling a documentary about this?
Él viene para acá y me dice, mamá, mami, the baby, come on. Let me see what he wants. The baby. The baby. Baby shark. Ven, ya lo voy a pagar, ven. Le tiene miedo a Baby llora. The baby. You see that? You see that, the baby, mama?
To Netflix? I actually don't know anything about that. I'm not sure. They'll turn on each other. They're all snakes.
Yep.
Good. Like,
He's already talking. Because he wants a lesser sentence. He's gonna talk.
I feel like, because, like, let's be real, right? Like, after that Harvey Weinstein shit, and the fact that, like, a bunch of other people didn't get called out for that, like, everybody knew, right? Like, we all knew, like, it is pretty obvious that, like, some bad shit happened, right? And there were a bunch of other people involved. But there just wasn't enough, like, information. Like, the floodgates had not opened at this point, right? This could be the greatest bust in I actually think this will be the biggest reckoning in entertainment history if he follows through with this.
Oh my.
And I actually don't know, like, this is so insane. I can't even imagine something that could ever be bigger than this.
Oh, there will be.
Insane.
There will be.
Like how big is that web, right? Like how how robust is the web? I don't know. I mean, I guess you're going to have to find out. But I feel like at this point, the big difference between this and the Epstein stuff is that, number one, you're dealing with people primarily, at least in Hollywood, that are several magnitudes less powerful than actual politicians and former presidents, right? So they have less power to exercise to stop this from happening, number one. Number two, there's a lot of talk about videos and information made about this, and it's done in a decentralized way, and there are so many points.
Baby, toma. Toma. Get the baby. Mira the baby. Mira. No. ¿Qué miedo le tiene?
Of failure. So a lot of conspiracies in my mind fall apart whenever I have to imagine that 10,000 people can keep a secret. No, don't believe it. I don't believe it. And I think especially whenever you have this much communication and this many people, like, cooperating with each other. there will be a fuck up. Absolutely. Tunnel under. Yeah, there's a tunnel. Yeah, there are apparently Los Angeles home underground tunnel at P. Diddy's Los Angeles house near Playboy Mansion. This dude had underground tunnels.
To go to Playboy.
Yeah. What do you think about Trump being with Diddy in a lot of those images? I think that's very concerning.
Yeah.
And I think everybody should, like, I mean, I don't think this is a shoot first and ask questions later. I mean, who knows, right? Maybe he had nothing to do with it. Maybe he did. I feel like it's totally fucking over for them. I think this could actually be like
so
a
disgusting.
rapture on a level that I don't think we've ever seen. I think this is going to make like the Epstein stuff and the Harvey Weinstein stuff look like a joke. And honestly, I think it's going to make the R. Kelly stuff look like a joke. This seems like probably potentially the biggest one